What's up guys, it's Ryan and you're watching Ryan Vision. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and like the videos for more. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Iron Rock Offroad equipment that was recently put on my 1996 Jeep Grand Cherokee ZJ. It's got the 5.2 V8 and right now it's running a 249 transfer case. It's sitting on 5.5 inches of lift on 35 by 1250 by 15 inch Goodyear Wrangler MTR Kevlars. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and again, make sure you like and subscribe. So the first thing that I did from Iron Rock Offroad, and if you've seen my other videos, you actually already know about this. I had bent my Rusty's off-road steering kit on the Rubicon Trail. And so the first upgrade I did from Iron Rock Offroad was their over-the-knuckle steering kit. And basically it comes with the drag link, the tie rod, and I did the upgrade for 5/8 inch grade 8 hardware. And what you have to do for that, if you're going to the 5/8, which was only I think another $20, is you have to drill your steering knuckles out on each side with a 5/8 inch drill bit, and you also have to drill your pitman arm with a 5/8 inch drill bit to support the bigger, beefier hardware. So I went ahead and did that. Now the beauty of the drag link and the tie rod with this Iron Rock kit is it's 1.25 inch solid cold rolled steel. Okay, this is not hollow tubing like the Rusty's steering kit was. So this stuff is real solid. If you bump a rock, it's going to survive. Basically you're going to have a chance to back up and realign before you've already, bent your tie rod, which is what happened to me on the Rubicon. So this steering kit's been great. Now something to know about it is you have to install it correctly, obviously, like anything else. So get a good look at how the washers and the nuts and the bolts and everything are on each side, and follow the instructions that come with the Iron Rock stuff, because usually they have photos and they're pretty detailed. But I'll give you a good look at how I've got the washers and got the nuts and everything like that. Okay, so the other important thing is, especially if you're running long arms, and that's one thing to note, you can see that the drag link actually comes out a bit from the tie rod. That's a little bit of an awkward angle when you're on short arms, because I was on short arms until just recently. But the most important thing with this steering kit is see how this joint right here is angled. What you want to be able to do is make sure that it's down on the hard stop when the Jeep's just sitting level and the wheels are straight. Make sure it's down on that hard stop at about a 5-degree angle. And same thing up here. This is another hard stop on the pitman arm. Make sure that's down, I guess what I should say is in the front, toward the front of the vehicle. Make sure that joint is down on the hard stop. You can actually hear it, bonk, that's the hard stop, okay? Because when this thing flexes out, it needs to be able to rotate upward to prevent any binding, any weird things with the steering. So I have tested this out, it's good to go. Also, when you get to doing your alignment, make sure that you have plenty of thread engagement on these clamps. When you do the adjustments, don't just back one clamp out or one rod end out. Make sure that you do them equally so you have really good thread engagement at all points. So I've been really happy with this kit. I finally got it aligned. I have just a little bit of toe in on it, and I'm running about 4.2 degrees caster right now, and I might as well get right into the rest of the Iron Rock stuff. The caster adjuster can be seen right here. So this is from the Iron Rock Offroad long arm kit, just the long arm kit in the front for right now. I didn't buy the critical path kit because I already had a pretty decent setup in the rear, so I didn't want to pay all the extra money for short arms and everything like that. Okay, so let me get back over here so you can see this long arm kit better. Comes with a 3-piece subframe assembly, which was great for me because I had badly bent my original transmission or transfer case crossmember. It was bent really bad. This subframe, it basically replaces your stock crossmember, okay? And when I say 3 pieces, this piece right here where the long arm bolts on, that's one piece. This entire bracket here is one piece, and then the one running all the way across is one piece, and then obviously you have the other long arm bracket. And so what you do is you bolt it all together loosely. Again, look at the instructions. You bolt it together loosely, and then you get this thing on the Jeep using the original bolt holes. These two right here is what the original crossmember used. You bolt those on, and then basically what it becomes is a template to drill those other 4 bolts. I believe those were 7/16 drill bit. So then you just drill those, same thing on the other side, and that's actually a lip on the frame, so you don't have to fish any, you know, like nuts inside of the frame. It's actually a lip, so you can get on the back of it. So once you get those all mounted up, you bolt your transfer case back on, and you're good to go. Now the long arms, these are really beefy too. I don't recall what the thickness is or anything, but I'll tell you what, these things were really heavy when they showed up in the mail, you know, picking them up to load them up. And I really like this, how it says Iron Rock Offroad here. And so essentially what you have is you have a lower control arm here, and then these are my Rusty's Offroad heavy duty lower control arm brackets, because my old ones were bent again after the Rubicon. So you have the heavy duty lower control arm here, which is also connected to the upper control arm, and that upper control arm has the caster adjustment at the end of it. And again, I'm running about 4.2 degrees right now. I was only at 2.5, which was a perfect pinion angle. And when I say pinion angle, I mean the angle of the pinion to the drive shaft. It was absolutely perfect when I was at 2.5. So I had no driveline vibrations at all. However, my steering was pretty crazy because the front axle was leaning forward a lot. It was just real sensitive, and the wheel didn't want to bring itself back to center after making U-turns and stuff like that. So what you have to do is kind of find a balance in between the steering and the driveline vibration. So right now at 4.2 degrees, my steering's pretty good, but I'm getting just the slightest driveline vibration. So what I'm going to do is back this caster adjustment off just a little bit, and maybe get between 3.5 and 4 and see how that is. That should kill the driveline vibration and still have my steering be pretty reasonable. So that pretty much covers this side. Oh, the other Iron Rock Offroad thing that I just did last night, I don't know if you guys can see that. This is called a bar pin eliminator, and if you take a look at your stock front shocks on your ZJ, you'll see like a rod going through the bottom of the shock with like a little flange on each side that a bolt goes through. Those are just crappy, and they make a lot of noise. You'll hear them clunking around and stuff. So what the bar pin eliminator does is it completely replaces that and allows you to just run a solid bolt and sleeve through the bottom of the shock like you would in the rear or any other typical setup. And so far it feels a lot more solid. I don't get as much clunking noises in the front. So that's another Iron Rock Offroad purchase there. Let me give you another shot of the subframe, just a different angle from the front. Kind of crawl underneath here. So there you can see that's the one bracket. So again, the original bolts where the stock cross member went, and then it works as a template to drill your 4 7/16 bolt holes. And there's a lip. There's a lip on the frame there. See that? So you can get to the back side of it. On the rear long arm kit, I believe you actually have to fish nuts inside of the frame. And then here's the, you can see up here, that's where the side bracket bolts onto the main subframe here, the center section, and then that runs all the way across. That's where your transmission mount bolts to. And then you come over here, and up here, same thing. That's where your connection point is for the brackets up there. And then on this other side, it's identical to the driver's side. So it's a really sweet setup. I like it a lot. Now on this side, all you have is the lower control arm. Again, very beefy, very heavy duty, just like the driver's side, obviously. And then I've got the heavy duty Rusty's lower control arm mount here. And I still am using cam bolts because that helps me adjust caster along with the caster adjuster on the driver's side. But notice there's no upper control arm on this side. And it really lets this thing flex out without binding. It's been an awesome setup. The one weak point I see is when you're running that kind of a setup. Let me see if I can show you that caster adjuster again from this side. That one bolt right there, you know, a lot of force gets put on that one bolt, so I'm definitely going to make sure that's a grade 8 bolt. Try to get that as strong as I can. I might even, because I have Moog bushings and they have a real thick sleeve, I might even see if I can go one bolt size up just to make sure I don't break anything. And obviously I'll always keep spares when I'm on the trail. Also, I'm going to mark this caster adjuster once I get it dialed in. I'm going to mark the where the bolt is on the slider. That way if it ever comes out of adjustment or I have to replace it on the trail, I'll know exactly where to do it without having to measure any angles with a magnetic protractor or anything like that. So again, on this side, here's a different angle of it. That's the Iron Rock Offroad bar pin eliminator. Highly recommend that. So that's about it as far as Iron Rock Offroad stuff on this Jeep. All I have is the front long arm kit. That's going to run you about 600 bucks. And then unless you want adjustable, these are fixed control arms. If you want adjustable, I believe it's another 150 or so. And the front steering kit, I want to say it's going to run you somewhere around $400 with the 5/8 inch grade 8 hardware upgrade. So it's really nice stuff. I like it. I've been really happy with it. Eventually I will be going to the Iron Rock in the rear. Right now I'm just running the Rubicon Express adjustable short arms, and it flexes really good in the back. Check out my other videos to see this thing flex, but eventually I want to go long arms just to complete the entire project. Another thing you want to take a look at before you get this kit or start installing this kit is take a look at your exhaust setup. What you're looking at right here is pretty much a factory exhaust setup. I've got a brand new catalytic converter welded on, but it's on the stock location. As long as you're running the stock setup, you should not run into any clearance issues. At least I didn't. You can see I'm using the stock hanger there. This is all stock factory pipe here. I've made no changes to it whatsoever, and I have tons of clearance through the subframe assembly. So just take a look at that so you know what you're dealing with before you dive into the project. One more thing I wanted to mention about the Iron Rock Offroad long arm kit for the front is it says in the instructions that you can keep your factory short arm brackets on the frame. That's what we're looking at right now. Obviously mine's been removed. If I slide this camera over, you can see that even if you have, because my track bars are completely dialed in, even if you have your track bars dialed in so your axle's completely centered, the amount of clearance between here and this control arm when it starts to flex is too close for comfort. It really is. So I had a local shop, I don't have a Sawzall or anything like that. I had a local shop take these off. They did some other work for me too. It didn't cost much at all, but they hacked these off on both sides, so I would highly recommend you do that. Here's a shot of the other side. It's just not worth risking it. You can see it there right between my rusty exhaust and the lower control arm there. It's just not worth bashing your brand new lower control arms up. So just get them cut off. Cut them off with a Sawzall or have a local shop do it for, you know, 20 bucks or so, maybe 40, and you'll be good to go. Should have no clearance issues other than that. So anyways, that's about it, guys. Just want to give you a quick update on the Iron Rock stuff. Watch my other videos though, because I'm going to do a video on the shocks and the coil spacers that we put in, and probably touch base on the limiting straps and the bump stops a little bit, things like that. So stay tuned. Alright, see you guys.